Well, here we go. I am a glutton for punishment. I'm going to do picks for week 13 for the top 25 teams. I have not done great in a couple weeks that I have posted some of these videos, actually made some picks. I never bet these games in real life, but I kind of have some confidence in this week. We have a lot of teams that should win their games in the top 25 this week. It's not rivalry week. That's next week. So at noon and through 2 o'clock, we have 5 top 10 teams playing. So a lot of the best teams are playing early tomorrow on Saturday. And then at 3:30 through 4 o'clock, you got the middling teams, 7 through 23. And then 7 o'clock and later, you got 16 through 25. Well, number 11, BYU, is in there. I just thought that was weird how it's set up. All the best teams are playing early, and then the next tier is playing midday. And then you have the bottom teams that actually could, some of these teams that could be beat are later in the day. Maybe that's why. Better ratings. But anyway, I'm going to go through every top 25 team, and I'll give you a winner for this week. At noon on Fox, Rutgers is at number 1 Ohio State. Number 1 per the college football playoff ranking. Number 1 per the AP poll. Number 1 with the coaches. But they're number 2 in the resume ranking. But regardless, they're going to beat Rutgers. But the line is 32.5. So will they cover that line? I think Ohio State will play tight this week. They have a big game the week after versus Michigan. And maybe they don't show as much as they need to. They could beat Rutgers by, 35 or more or whatever. But do they need to? I don't see it happening. I don't think they show enough. Rutgers, by the way, is actually a pretty good team on defense. It's offense that scares me, because if they don't control the ball for at least a little bit, Ohio State's definitely going to cover this. But I like Rutgers in this one to cover 32.5. Also at noon, there's a couple games here in the SEC, Alabama and Texas A&M, that I did not get the lines for, so I won't be picking against the spread there. But Texas A&M has Samford, and I understand why Vegas didn't want to put out a line. Texas A&M could name their score. So I'm just going to say that they are going to win that game on ABC at noon. Number 22, Missouri, is at Oklahoma, who is number 8. And Oklahoma is favored by 6.5 points. Oklahoma is a really good team, and they've been damn good versus a very difficult schedule. Missouri is way overrated. A 3-loss team now, aren't they? Who'd they beat? Who'd they beat that is close to being ranked? I don't know. Nobody. Missouri's way overrated. I have Oklahoma covering the 6.5 easy. On ESPN at noon, we have number 13, Miami, at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a 3-win team. Miami is favored only by 18.5 points. The ACC never covers. All these ranked teams are going down in the ACC left and right, including Miami in a couple of previous games. I like Virginia Tech in 18.5 points in this one. All right, at 12:45 on the SEC network. We got some weird times here for some of these. Normally, traditionally, you have noon games, 3:30 games, and then 7:30 or 8 o'clock games, right? Am I losing my mind? This week, seems like all the ranked teams need to be on some channel, and so we got some weird times going on. But the SEC network at 12:45 is going to host number 4 Georgia versus Charlotte. And they actually had a line on this one. Georgia by 44.5 points. Georgia could choose not to cover. They could choose to win by 100. I have no idea. I'm not picking this game, but Georgia, of course, is going to win. I'm not picking against the spread. At 2 o'clock, number 10, Alabama, is playing Eastern Illinois. And this is the other game where there was no line at the point when I was making my picks. And so the first 6 games are full of nobodies for these great teams on Saturday, except for maybe Oklahoma. Maybe Missouri is okay. But at 3:30 on CBS, we got 4 pretty good games. USC versus Oregon is the best one. USC is number 15, Oregon number 7. Oregon's favored by 10.5 points. I like the hook. But I like USC to win this game outright. They've proven themselves more than Oregon this season. Listen, the Penn State for Oregon, that win is not good. It was at the time, but Penn State sucks. USC is beating teams. USC can go into Austin and win this game. They are the better team, in my opinion. They're more physical than Oregon is, in my opinion. I got them winning outright. Also at 3:30 on NBC, we have Syracuse at Notre Dame, who is number 9. And Notre Dame is favored by 35.5 points. If Notre Dame covers this, then they might actually be for real. They might be a totally different team than the one that lost 2 games to some pretty good opponents early. But 35.5 is a lot of points, and it's the same thing, where you're getting down to the end of the season, you want to conserve energy. I like Syracuse just to throw a wrench into everything and cover versus Notre Dame in that 35.5 points. On ESPN at 3:30, Kentucky is at number 14, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is favored by 8.5 points, and Kentucky is terrible. And just like everybody that Vanderbilt has beaten this season, they're terrible. Vanderbilt's going to cover the 8.5. They are actually a pretty good team, but the resume isn't there. I don't understand why they're number 14, but maybe they could prove me wrong or right in the aspect of beating Kentucky by 8.5 points. Also at 3:30 on ABC is Arkansas at Texas, and they are number 17. Texas is also favored by 8.5 points. They cannot afford a 4th loss and be considered any kind of anything at that point. So Texas is going to come out and beat a terrible Arkansas team by more than 8.5 points. I bet it. At 3:45, another weird time here, ESPNU. Number 24, Tulane, is at Temple. Tulane is favored by 9.5 points. They are one of the group of 5 teams vying for a spot. If we get 2 different conference champions from the group of 5 that are higher ranked than the ACC champion, ACC might just be left out of this altogether. Tulane has to win this game. Their back's against the wall. It's a 9.5 point spread. I think they do it. The American Conference has 4 teams that are quality. Tulane, North Texas, Navy, and USF. Temple is not one of them. At 4 o'clock on ESPN2, Kansas State is at Utah, who is number 12 in the nation right now. Utah is favored by 17.5 points. Texas Tech needs Utah to keep on winning, and then they need to beat Utah in the Big 12 championship game. That's what they want. Will Utah cover the spread? They're going to win this game versus Kansas State. But will they cover that 17.5? I don't know. I'm staying away from that one. So at 4 o'clock on Fox, TCU is at Houston, who is number 23. in the nation out of the Big 12. And Houston's favored by 1.5 points. That's it. That's it. Where's TCU? This game also matters for Texas Tech. Texas Tech having beaten Houston on the road. If Houston continues to win, Texas Tech resume looks strong. They could get a bye in the playoff. So Houston is going to win this game, and they're going to help out Texas Tech as well. Also at 4 o'clock on the Big Ten Network, number 18 Michigan is at Maryland. And Michigan is favored by 13.5 points. Just win, Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan if you haven't noticed. I think Michigan, there was a preview of this game on this channel, and I had Michigan winning 27-17. That does not cover the 13.5 points, so I guess I would pick Maryland, but I just like to stay away from Michigan games in general. And then 5 more games, the late night games here. There are no ranked teams playing at 10 o'clock or later this week, which is awesome. Thank you. But at 7 o'clock on ESPN, Pittsburgh is at Georgia Tech. The ACC needs Georgia Tech to win this game and win out. Now, they're probably not going to beat Georgia in Atlanta next week. They got to win this one. And I think they do. And I think they cover the 2.5 point spread versus Pittsburgh. At 7:30 on ABC. Number 20, Tennessee is at Florida. And Tennessee is favored by 4.5 points. And Josh Heupel, Tennessee's coach, needs this one. This is a rivalry game. Tennessee is by far the better team. Florida doesn't have a permanent coach right now. Heupel has to win this game and cover, and he will. On the Big Ten Network at 7:30, number 21, Illinois is at Wisconsin. It's the Bielema Bowl. Bielema was at Wisconsin before he traded for the SEC and at Arkansas, and that didn't go well. Back to the Big Ten. Now he's at Illinois, having that program doing better than what Wisconsin is right now. Could it get interesting? Illinois is favored by 8.5 points. I think it's more interesting than that. It's at Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin plus 8.5. And then on Fox at 8 o'clock, number 11, BYU is at Cincinnati. BYU is favored by 2.5 points. They were my dark horse to win the national championship in the preseason. There was a whole video on their roster, and they're making me look pretty good right now, one of the teams. But at Cincinnati, but only 2.5 points. Give me BYU to cover that one. And then the last game, ESPN2 has number 25, Arizona State at Colorado, also at 8 o'clock. And Prime sucks, hollow, bleep. Ever since his kid and the other people that he brought, the 5 stars, went to the NFL. Bad program, no depth. ASU actually has a winning record, 7-3, I think they are right now. It's on the road, and there's the hook. There is Arizona is favored by 7.5 points. But Colorado's just terrible. I have Arizona State covering that one as well. So what do you guys think? Man, perfect 14 minutes right there. And what do you think? Am I going to do better this week than I have in previous weeks? Let me know in the comments below. Not much upsets here. Just USC over Oregon out there on the West Coast. So that's it this week. But next week could get real interesting, and everyone's going to be excited about those games. And then, of course, championship week is going to decide some things too. Will championship losers be left out this season with a third loss? I don't think they should be. but circumstances may dictate that they are. Depends on if it's out of the Big Ten or the SEC or the other three. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know. Have a great night out there, everybody. Hopefully your team wins tomorrow on Saturday. And go blue, though. Mine has to at Maryland.